everyone, welcome back to the DBMS revision series. आज हम DBMS का एक बहुत ही modern और सच में industry important topic समझेंगे. We're focusing completely on Unit 5 today, database security. You know, this is an absolutely vital topic, not just for your SPPU MCA exams, but honestly for your future careers as software engineers. So grab your notebooks, get focused, and let's master this concept together, okay? Let me start by asking you a very practical question. Why do massive platforms like Amazon or even the Google Drive that's literally sitting on your phone right now need such heavy, complex database security? I mean, we use these apps every single day, right? We upload photos, save our credit card details, store our college projects. But behind that simple screen you see, there's a massive digital fortress. And if that fortress breaks down, the results are absolutely catastrophic. So today we're going to bridge the gap between heavy academic theory and those relatable everyday apps you use to understand exactly how that fortress is built. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our exact syllabus checklist for today's explainer so you know precisely what exam topics we're covering. First, the need for database security. Second, the top database security threats. Third, we'll break down the highest scoring exam question, authentication versus authorization. Fourth, data encryption explained. And finally, a quick exam revision summary. Let's get started. Section 1, the need for database security. Let's see why this field even exists in the first place.
Definitely write this definition down because it's exactly what you need for your 2025 exams. So, database security kya hai? It is simply the combination of processes, tools, and controls used to protect databases from unauthorized access, malicious threats, and data corruption. Basically, कोई भी हैकर या unauthorized person आपके डेटा को देख ना सके, चुरा ना सके या डिलीट ना कर सके. Protecting the data's confidentiality, integrity, and availability. That's the ultimate goal here.
Now, why is this technology so fundamentally needed? Well, imagine a core banking system. If someone hacks into a bank's database, they don't just see numbers, right? They see people's life savings. A breach there causes absolute disaster. So, database security protects sensitive user data like passwords and account balances. It maintains user trust, because honestly, if cloud storage like Google Drive gets hacked, users will just delete the app instantly. It prevents massive financial losses for companies, and it ensures system integrity, meaning the data hasn't been secretly altered behind the scenes. Moving to Section 2, the top database security threats. Let's look at exactly what we're defending against. These are the absolute top database security threats you must know for the exam. First up is unauthorized database access, basically hackers breaking right through the firewall. Second is massive data leaks, where hackers download millions of records and just sell them online. Think of an e-commerce system. If a massive leak happens there, millions of credit cards are compromised. Third is the exploitation of weak passwords. Guys, it's actually shocking, but a single employee using password 123 can literally compromise an entire corporate network. And finally, insider threats. This is when someone inside the company intentionally or even accidentally leaks the data.
All right, Section 3, authentication versus authorization. Mark this, guys, examiner ka favorite question hai ye. Let's clearly understand the difference.
To understand the first part, authentication, let's anchor this abstract concept to a super relatable everyday action. Think of the Instagram login screen. Every time you open a new session, it asks for your username and password, right? That login screen is doing exactly this. Authentication is strictly the process of verifying the identity of a user or system before granting access. It's the who are you phase. You say, hey, I'm Rahul. And the system replies, okay, prove it with your password or your fingerprint or an OTP. Once you prove it, you are authenticated. You are allowed inside the building. Now let's shift gears to authorization. Think of a Netflix account. You enter the password, so you're authenticated. But then you see different profiles, right? There's an adult profile and there's a kid's profile. Both are logged in, but they have completely different content access limits. The kid's profile obviously cannot watch an adult movie. That right there is the perfect example for this definition. Authorization is the process of determining what actions an authenticated user is legally permitted to perform. This is the what can you do phase. And remember, it only happens after successful authentication. Like, you're inside the building? Yes, but do you have the key to the server room? If you're a normal user, you have limited rights. If you're an admin, you have full access. That is authorization. And this brilliantly illustrates the difference. Honestly, I want you to take a mental screenshot of this visual comparison right now. On the left, we have authentication, identity verification, like a standard login. On the right, we have authorization, access permissions, like admin rights versus normal user rights. Writing it exactly like this in a clear comparative way, that is going to secure you maximum marks in your paper. Section 4. Data encryption explained. So what happens? How do we actually protect the data if a hacker completely bypasses the login screens we just talked about? To understand this, just look at a real-world application you probably trust every single day, WhatsApp, and its end-to-end encryption. Even if a hacker intercepts your messages on the network, they cannot read them. They just see a random jumble of letters and numbers. That is the magic of encryption. Now here is your strict exam definition. Encryption is the process of converting readable plaintext data into an unreadable ciphertext format using algorithms and keys. Basically, आपके normal text को एक secret code में बदल दिया जाता है. Only a person or a system with the correct decryption key can turn that ciphertext back into readable plaintext. Without that specific key, the stolen database is completely useless to the hacker. Let's move on and see how this actually builds into a practical workflow. Here is the 3-step working process pipeline you should definitely draw in your exam. Step 1, input your plaintext data, like your bank account balance or your password. Step 2, the database engine applies the encryption algorithm and a secret key. And step 3, the output is secure ciphertext, which is safely stored in the database. When the authorized user needs the data, this exact process simply runs in reverse. All right, Section 5, Exam Revision Summary. Let's lock in all these concepts to make sure you get those top grades. First off, remember that engineering examiners always look for a balanced analysis. So, if they ask about database security, you must give both pros and cons. Advantages include total data safety, building user trust, and meeting legal compliance. But there are disadvantages too. Heavy system overhead, complex key management, and sometimes slower processing speeds, simply because encrypting and decrypting data takes a lot of CPU power. Always try to draw a neat table like this. Here are my explicit exam POV tips on how to structure your answer sheet to really impress the examiner. Number 1, always start your answers by writing clear definitions first. Second, if the question comes up, always use the authentication versus authorization table we just discussed. Third, sprinkle in real-world apps like Netflix for authorization and WhatsApp for encryption. It shows practical knowledge, not just rote learning. And finally, draw block diagrams, like that 3-step encryption process pipeline, to visually break up your text. So the crucial point here is that database security isn't just some boring theory. It's literally the digital shield of our modern world. Let me leave you with a final thought to tie all these academic concepts back to your personal digital life. If a hacker bypassed the firewalls and accessed your absolute favorite app's database today, is the password you're currently using strong enough to survive? Take a moment to think about your own digital footprint. I hope all these concepts are crystal clear to you now for your 2025 pattern exams. अगर ये explainer helpful लगा हो, तो like, share और subscribe ज़रूर करना. Keep revising, keep practicing those diagrams, and I'll see you in the next class for our DBMS revision series. All the best, guys!